Welcome back, traders. Second portion of our show and market movers. This is a day we have many market movers, so let's get started, Dennis. How about those Google earnings?
Yeah, Google after the bell. Joel, you called it on the show yesterday on the Market Movers show. You were saying this stock seems to move 50 points on every earnings report. I do remember that the last few times selling off 50 points about a year ago, then rallying 50 points the last report, or 60 or 70 points, I think. Well, this time went down 50 points. So Google doesn't disappoint. When it has earnings, it moves. So it's never a non-event, and this is not the case either. The stock is down $49 right now, trading at $5.90 and a quarter after closing at $639.57. Bottomed out, went as low as a what do you have, Joel? I had 570 right in the 570s there. Do you have the exact number where it bottomed
I
out?
got five. I got 573.
573 it went down to after hours last night. It hadn't been there this morning. So keep an eye on that number because that's where it bottomed. I was going to call the whole area 575 because looking at the chart there, we had some support back there a little while ago. So maybe that 575 area gives you a little bit of support. That's where we were in November. We did cut through there in November, note as well. But earlier in November we had bottomed there. Late in October we bottomed at 575. So maybe that's the area wanted to test. So if it goes down to there, maybe find some support there. What do you think, Joel?
Well, I think that your normal investor would wake up and say, "Wow, man, Google's down 50," but in actuality, it is down 50, but it's had a 20-point rally. Looking at the chart after this 573 low, you've had a steady and climb here up to the 593 level. So on the upside, I'll give you this 593 if you're shorting it, and it gets above there. Who knows where it's going to go? Coming back on the downside, it did slice through that 580 area, pretty quickly in the pre-market. So below that, I would look at 573, which was the panic low, which a lot of times you don't see during the regular sessions because there's a lot more volume. And Dennis, I'd be willing to bet a wooden nickel today that it doesn't trade below 561.33.
One nickel. I don't know if I'll take you up on that one, Joel. That'd be a pretty decent sell-off from here, so I don't think that happens either. GE had earnings here, Microsoft, IBM. We've talked about all of those, even Microsoft. We talked about all of those on the Big Ten show. So if you want a little bit more detail on those stocks, listen to the Big Ten show and the S&P show. I don't want to keep going over the same stuff we've already went over. American Express reported after the bell, though, too. We haven't talked about that one yet, Joel. AXP stock is trading down pretty significantly on the report. It's a big move for American Express, down a buck, 49.85 after closing at 50.95. What did you think about the AXP earnings?
I don't care about the earnings. I just care about the numbers. And the numbers say that we broke below here 48.40. We hit, below 49.40. Hit a low at 49.30. So I'd be using that area as support. Coming back on the upside, if this thing makes a run at the $51 level, a double top, I'd be real surprised. But who knows? It's a buck away from there, but 51's the major resistance. Yesterday's low at 50.46 could also be a stopping point for the stock. Below this 49.30 level that we hit in the pre-market, there's really not a lot under here. Dennis will tell you there's psychological support at 49, but there's really not. It's really at 48.82 to 48.95.
How do you know what I'm going to say, Joel? Are you reading my mind again? I don't like that when you read my mind. Capital One Financial, I'm just moving on. I'm not even speaking anymore about American Express. Capital One Financial closed at 48.77. They had earnings as well. Stock's down $3, Joel, COF. It's getting killed here. I'm looking at this chart. I'm going to say it before Joel says what I'm going to say. $45 is, I think, where this stock could end up testing here today. I think that's where it wants to go. 45.76, or 76 cents away from there. $45 where I think you got some decent support. What do you think, Joel?
Well, here's a little bit. I don't know if all of our listeners have access to pre-market charts, but here's a stock that the news came out, it dumped, had a recovery rally up to 47, and now it's back down to 45.76 here, 45.75, which is the low of the move here, and it ain't bouncing. So, this one I'd use 47 as major resistance. If it opens right here at this 45.75 level, or even if it opened just a tad higher and took that out, I think this could be in for a continued descent, even testing the 45 level. 44.93 was the low back on January 6th. So if this level does not hold, this 45.75 level, get some quick bids out there. Maybe start at 45.10. Down to 44.95, and perhaps catch a quick bounce there. Below that, I'm looking at 44.
Yeah, if you took that 45 out, and this has got a lot of momentum going, wouldn't surprise me either. 44 would be their next area. That's my whole number theory. There are two coming into play. Schlumberger, SLB. They're actually trading up higher here, Joel. There isn't a lot of them trading higher. SLB is one of them. 72.86 is where it closes, trading 73.75 right now. This stock has had a heck of a 2-day run. Stock basically moving up here, over 4 or 5 points here into this earnings report, continuing its momentum after the earnings report. This 75 area looms large, so we're buck 25 away from there. But if we get up into those high 74s, maybe you find some sellers up there. What do you think on Schlumberger?
Well, just a quick note on that cough. I think one of our listeners just heeded our advice and just hit another bid here as cough has just traded 45.50. So this thing is showing no signs of rallying. Moving on to Schlumberger. This stock has had a pretty good run. Ran into some resistance yesterday at the $73 level. Now trading 75 cents above that. So if any kind of pullback, look for support at the 73. Moving on the upside, you had a high at 72.99 back in the middle of January, and then the next day it went up to 73.76. So after this pre-market high in Schlumberger, which is 73.80, 75 on the upside.
Parker Hannifin, which is symbol PH. The stock had earnings here this morning as well. It's getting killed, Joel. 84.97 is where it closed. It's trading at $80.89, so it's trading all the way down here into this 80 area. I think 80 gives you some psychological support. I don't see a heck of a lot there. If you look back here in November, we bottomed out here in the 80 area, and we had a little resistance here at the end of December in the 80 area, so that would give you a little bit of support, maybe this 80. If we were to cut through there, though, then you look back down and you could look down in the 77 area, which we bottomed out there earlier in December. What do you think, Joel?
I think this after hours chart is a little bit more similar to the Google chart than it is to the cough chart here. We did hit a low in the pre-market, boom, right on that 80 number. Recovered up to 81.79, so I will use that 81.79 to 82 area as resistance. Getting a lot of consolidation here, Dennis, right in this area at 81. So if we can't hold this 81 level, look for a test of the pre-market low at the $80 level. I do see going back on the 79.82. So I'm sure you'll find some buyers from that 79.80 up to the $80 level. And then you're right, Dennis. After that, there's a gap to fill down to 79, and then air down to 77.18.
Intel, Joel, last one before we close up the show. INTC did report earnings after the bell as well. This stock popped over $26 on that report. It was trading well into the 26s. Maybe Joel can find that after hours high for you before it pulled back and then was flirting with settlement at 25.63. This morning, this 25.92 52-week high seems to be putting a cap on it, Joel. It's trading 25.87 right now, just in front of that 52-week high. So that's going to be a huge number for you guys. I'd use that as resistance. We start to break out over 26, then it could maybe get bullish. But initially, we were opening into some stiff resistance. What was that high in after hours, Joel? Do you have that on the Intel?
Yeah, I do, Dennis. It spiked up to 26 and a quarter.
26 and a quarter. So that's something to keep in mind too. Like we always talk about these after hours highs and lows. It's stuff that your normal a lot of your other software doesn't track. So if you can keep an eye on some of those other, sometimes it gives you some better numbers too. So keep an eye on the 26 and a quarter number. If we take out that 26, what's your take on Intel, Joel?
Well, Dennis, I kind of feel like I'm like in the early 2000s, talking about, Rally and Intel and Microsoft and the whole internet bubble area, talking about all these stocks. With going back to the Intel, we talked about that major swing area. It's busted over that in the pre-market. It actually, after a quarter, has come down and tested that level quite a few times. So keep an eye on that 25 and a half. That's major support. Keep the rally going in Intel. Let's keep those closes above 25 and a half. Out there right at 26 as you get into people that don't have the opportunity or don't have the nads to trade in the pre-market. Stiff resistance up to 26 to 26 and a quarter. And then, once you get to these kind of levels in these stocks, not only do you have to look at the weeklies, but you have to look at the monthlies in this thing. And this stock is trading at a level 2634 that it saw in January of 2008. Above that level, Dennis, I hasten to say we could test 27.
That's all I've got for you today. Keep in mind options expiration. We have a lot of volatility from all our earnings reports. We could have a little extra volatility as this is the third Friday of the month.
As things stand right now, I know we're still a good 50 minutes away from the open, but you could be looking at opening into this Globex slow here, which is good support. You get a bounce off there, going to. If not, taking out just 1305 and a quarter, at least look for the figure at 1300. Well, that's our show for today, folks. It's hope it's been informative, and we'll be back with you on Monday morning.